I don't know if I like it, Twitch chat. I don't know, Twitch chat. This might be a little bit too much for me. This feels extravagant. I am not an extravagant person, Twitch chat. I don't get it. Oh, I did go attack speed or tenacity. I can get stun locked if this goes to late game. It's no good. Oh, his W animation is so much faster in this skin. This is pay to win. Are you kidding me? Wait, what? That's so obvious! What? It's so in-your-face obvious that the W animation is faster. Look at that. What? That's so pay to win. That's in-your-face pay to win. People aren't joking when they say skins are pay to win often. Maybe I should have been using more skins. Don't get. Aww. What happened that I solely became interested in Bruisers? Every other class just reprints the same fucking champion. Basically, Bruisers are the only class that they innovate because Riot fucking hates Bruisers. So anytime they have an interesting champion design, they just toss it over to Bruisers because they think, fuck those classes, I hate them so much. Which means every Bruiser actually ends up being very unique and interesting. Whereas when they sit there jerking their dick off to 80 carries, they're like, what if we make another 80 carry who right-clicks people to death? Oh! And then you get Kai'Sa. How is Kai'Sa different? She's got, like, a Q, which hits everyone around her automatically. A W, which kind of has a startup time and then hits everyone. An E, which makes you run really fast and attack really fast. And then an R, which puts you in range to continue to right-click. So what is her gameplay? Well, she pretty much just right-clicks people. Which is so different than every other AD carry. Seriously, that's the thing. I can play a Bruiser, and I can play another Bruiser, and I can play a third Bruiser, and I can get completely different and unique gameplay. I can play Camille, completely unique and different gameplay. Then I can go to Jax, completely different gameplay. Then I can swap over to Aurelia, completely different gameplay. Darius, completely different gameplay. Aatrox, completely different gameplay. AD carry, I can play Kai'Sa, she auto-attacks people. Sivir, she auto-attacks people and sometimes throws a Q. And also, I guess you have a spell shield. Draven, he auto-attacks people really hard. Caitlyn, she auto-attacks people and sometimes hits them with a Q and a trap. And the trap means that you auto-attack them really hard. Tristana, she presses E and then auto-attacks people.
Minions have spawned.
Even Jhin, let's look at Jin's gameplay. What is Jin's unique gameplay style? He auto-attacks people, but not as fast as other people. Oh. Oh, what about Varus? He auto-attacks people, then presses Q, then auto-attacks people, then presses E, then auto-attacks people and presses Q again. Quinn, she auto-attacks people, then presses Q. And then she auto-attacks people and presses E if they get close. And then if she thinks she's being ganked, she presses W. I mean, Corki is pretty much ranged but squishy Jax when you break it down. But here's the difference. When I play Darius, it's completely different than when I play Jax. And yet, think about how similar they are if you were an idiot. Like, if you're the kind of person who is stupid and didn't understand the difference between Bruisers, think about how similar they are. One of them has a stun on his E, the other has a stun plus pull on his E. The other has an auto attack reset on his W, and actually they both have auto attack resets on their W. I mean, if you were just an idiot, you would think that Darius and Jax were very similar, that the only difference was one of them stacks up auto attacks and bleeds the opponent to ult, and one of them stacks up auto attacks to get attack speed. Like, when you really break it down, the champions are quite similar. They really are. Like, seriously, stop and think about it, and you're gonna be like, wait, what? Jax, auto attack 8 times, get maximum attack speed. Darius, auto attack 5 times, get lots of damage. Both of them get an auto reset on their W. Both of them stun people with their E. Like, they're very similar when you just look at it without really thinking about it. It's how they play that's so different. But then something you can't do with ranged champions, because all ranged champions have ranged attacks, meaning they're all just gonna ranged attack you. Meaning all they do is get slightly different bonuses for ranged attacking you. Tristana does physical damage with her E for ranged attacking you. Kai'Sa does magic damage with her passive for ranged attacking you. Caitlyn stacks up her passive, then does a headshot for big damage by ranged attacking you. Sivir does AoE ranged attack. Darius does magic damage on his ranged attack, and then hits you with a Q to do more damage. Very fucking similar. Yeah, but here's the difference. While some mages are different, think about it this way. The difference between a marksman is the difference between Syndra and Lux. They're practically the same fucking champion. Like, that's it. Like, the difference between Lux and Syndra is basically the difference between every marksman. No, but one of them has to summon orbs down, but they don't really actually prepare orbs. One of them throws down an AoE, which then slows people. And then they try to root/stun people with a line nuke. Wait, and then they try to burst people with their ultimate while they're stun/rooted. I mean, Aurelio's Soul might be one of the dumbest champions ever added into the game, right? But at least he has a unique playstyle from other mages. If you take Victor, Syndra, Lux, Annie, all these mages who played the same fucking thing, yeah, you're gonna play the same fucking thing. Even the Swain rework, I mean, can you really explain to me how Swain is so different? Oh, but he gets tanky and then he runs next to people. And then he has to press Q. Okay. Yeah, Galio's unique. Yeah, Galio's very unique. I like Galio. Talia's unique. That's why I'd like Talia to be rebalanced, to be fair. And Nivea's unique. Yeah, she's great. Karthus is unique too. I don't know why Riot has had such a vendetta against Karthus. Like, why do they always promote Syndra and then hate on Karthus? What is Karthus except hard mode Syndra? In fact, what is Karthus except hard mode Mage? Xerath, I would say, is actually not very unique. Oh, but his Q is long range, which is literally his only difference, really. Seriously, what does he do? Tries to hit you with the line nuke, which is a stun, then hits you with his main nuke, his Q, then hits you with his E. What about Brand? Hits you with a E, then hits you with a line nuke. Wait a minute, this is starting to feel very similar. What about Ahri? Hits you with a line nuke. Wait a minute, this is starting to sound very similar. What about Diana? Hits you with a line nuke. Wait a minute. Although I guess hers is a crescent nuke. The thing is that they all start the same fucking way. I didn't even see her. That fucking sucks. She just appeared next to me. You can't complain about other champions. You're playing Darius. Okay, we'll just permanently ban the retard from chat. Darius, the champion who doesn't even have a 50% win rate on live, yet is competitively top tier. When does it come time for people to admit that maybe not the hardest champion, but certainly not the easiest champion? I think people just get so angry when they stand in front of Darius and die that they forget that your average player does not stand in front of Darius and die, and your average player is not as stupid as you, that actually you're below average. Seriously, how many fucking mages are hit line nuke CC ability, proceed to spam every button on your opponent and burst them down? Lux, Syndra, Brand, Xerath, Annie doesn't even have the skill shot part. Zoe, Zoe's got kind of like her ultimate to work around. Zyra, Morgana. You wonder why I call mages very similar. That's why I stopped playing mages. They just kept releasing the same champion over and over again. I played mages up until season 2, but then they haven't released an interesting mage since then, in my opinion. It was like, they released Swain and Xerath and Brand, and I was just like, This is all the same fucking champion. Azir, or as I like to call him, Kale with extra steps. No, he doesn't have an invulnerability. He just knocks you out of range and doesn't let you get back into range. Not an invulnerability. No, he doesn't have a ranged magic attack. He has soldiers who attack people with magic damage from range. No, he doesn't have a movement speed buff. He has a ability which moves him really fast. No, he doesn't have a slow. He throws his soldiers at you, which slow you down. They took Kale, said, why don't we remake Kale? Said, wait, how is that gonna make us any money? Then made Azir. At least Lissandra doesn't have the line nuke part. She just clicks her ult on you. Why does it matter? So what? So they made Azir intentionally obtuse to the point where he's never gonna be popular because he's just not interesting to play, because he's so overcomplicated that nobody wants to learn how to play him, and even while being overcomplicated doesn't really add anything interesting to the game? That's the thing. These champions are so overcomplicated, but they don't add anything to the game. That's why I consider Darius will always be more interesting to me than these overcomplicated champions. Look at Pyke. Look at Pyke's kit. Is Pyke hard to play? Is Pyke a super complicated champion? No, but Pyke is a lot more interesting to me than Azir. Both fighting him and playing him. Pyke is more interesting than Azir. What about Cassiopeia? Let's be honest, Cassiopeia is just an AD carry that they added extra annoying steps to. That's a problem. I don't care about like what's the right way to put this? I don't care about, like, when you lay out a champion and you tell me what they do, I don't give a shit. What I want to know is, how does the champion play? Once I start playing them, how do they play? In Cassiopeia, she plays like an AD carry with extra annoying steps. Yeah, Echo, once again. Champion that doesn't seem that complicated, and yet adds a lot to the game. I actually thought Echo was fun to play. Now, granted, I think Echo makes a billion more sense as a tank, and I don't know why they pushed him as a mage. I think they should have balanced him as being a tank. I really do.
Hey Hash, I'm sure you'll appreciate this short 20-second video.
The overdunk! I thought that technique was just a myth, Twitch chat. That's the first time I've seen the overdunk performed in real life. Are there any supports I really enjoy playing against? Pyke annoys the shit out of me because his stealth range is too long. That's about it. Pyke's fine. Alistar is arguably fine. I fucking hate Bard. I fucking hate Zyra. Although I can live with Bard though. I mean, if it really came to shove, if you were like, who's a support you have to lane against? I would say, okay, Bard's fine. Leona is dumb as shit. Stun, root, stun, root, stun, stun, root, stun, root. Too tanky to focus, stun, root. Yeah, Braum. I auto-attacked you one time. Now you get stunned for 2 seconds. Haha, outplayed. If they removed Rakan and he was no longer in the game, I would say, Twitch chat, that we should still nerf Rakan. That champion design is absolute garbage trash tier. Whoever designed them clearly never actually play tested them. Comes from out of line of sight, shields your target, W gap closes to you, charms you, knocks you up. What the fuck? Heals your target, shields your target again? What? Who designed that? Hey guys, what if we give an AD carry a stealth, and a movement speed buff, and a gap closer, and a shield, and also they do magic damage, and percent health damage, and single target damage, and AoE damage, and also they have an attack speed buff. Haha, we're not power creeping. And what if they do it all by pretty much just right-clicking you while hitting ability every so often? That's what pisses me off about AD carries. They always talk about counterplay and not liking stat checks. What the fuck is Kai'Sa other than a stat check? Can someone please explain that one to me? What is it about Kai'Sa that when you fight her, you can outplay? Like, what is it that when Kai'Sa is right-clicking me, I can do in order to outplay her? Oh, Aatrox is a stat check. When he right-clicks you, he's either gonna kill you or you're gonna die based on your stats. Oh, wow, that's so different than your average ranged champion. Thank you, Riot Games. This is so different. By the way, how come fucking Aatrox gets removed from the game for being a stat check? Meanwhile, what the fuck is Poppy other than a stat check? Oh, don't stand next to a wall, but actually she slows you and prevents you from using gap closers and has a movement speed buff. And also, her entire laning phase is to hit Q on you repeatedly until you're poked out of the lane. I hate champions who and the thing is, again, this goes back to what I was saying earlier. Riot gives these absolutely ridiculous, quote, counterplays that aren't really counterplays. They're just more excuses to have terrible shit in the game. We don't like stealth champions with stuns. Good, thank you, Morello. I don't like that either. Thank you, Morello, for looking out for my fun and enjoyment in the game. Then the new developers are like, it's not a stun, it's a charm. And it takes a second to activate so you can play around it. Fuck you, new developers. That's not counterplay. That's just an excuse to have broken shit in the game. Tell me if you agree with this one. With the old Riot, the Morello tier Riot, I felt that Riot genuinely wanted me to have fun with the game, and I feel they genuinely would do the right thing eventually. With new Riot, I expect them to pretty much fuck me over for $1 and constantly put annoying shit into the game that's gonna take years to deal with. And I feel they're never actually gonna touch the game unless enough people bitch on Reddit to finally guilt them into doing it. Singe is overpowered. We're gonna do absolutely nothing about it until people start spamming the front page. Well, looks like they're spamming the front page. Guess we have to nerf him literally the next patch! What, like you didn't know he was overpowered? It just took you by surprise? And then the very fucking next patch you thought, oh, I guess he's overpowered. It went on for like a year. The front page gets spammed. Oh, it's on the PvE in like a day. That shouldn't, okay, I shouldn't have to spam the front page of Reddit to get attention to a champion like that. I shouldn't. That shouldn't need to happen. And that's what I'm talking about. With old Riot, I legitimately felt whether or not I posted shit that eventually they would get around to it. With new Riot, I expect them to just ignore it for as long as possible to try to sell as many skins. Wow, I felt so much counterplay against that Kaisa, Twitch chat. Oh, wow. No, she had so many opportunities for me to outplay her there. No, she didn't just stand in front of me and right-click me to death like Aatrox would. No, she was landing all these skill shots and abilities that I could outplay. Thank God for Kaisa. Not like I built a fucking adaptive helm to try to fight her. No, she still just massacres me in front of it. Even Camille, I had more counterplay. I interrupted Camille's E and her second Q. Camille, I actually had real things I could do to stop her. Kaisa, da right click, da right click, da right click, da. Wow, I'm so good at the game. Thank you, Riot. You make me so happy.